Hey Sagittarius, welcome to your messages for June 28th through July 4th. This is going to be for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you stumble upon this video outside of the dates I mentioned, don't you worry. The messages came to you when it was time for you to hear them. Keep in mind this is a general reading, therefore not every single message is going to resonate. Take what does and leave the rest. So without further ado, we're going to see what's going on for the Sagittarius Collective for June 28th through July 4th, or the week ahead whenever you happen to see this or find this. All right, Sagittarius, let's get right on into it. Oh my gosh. So as I'm connecting with your energy, I'm hearing a song I have not heard in a long time, and I haven't even thought about it. And dare I say it might be a one-hit wonder, but it's called Champagne Clouds. It's a really pretty song. It came out like a few years ago, and it's just about like, I'm up here and I'm gonna be happy. Like, you're basically like, you can't burst my bubble. You can't bring me down, right? You can be negative, you can be toxic. I'm gonna be in my little champagne clouds here. So some of you Sagittarius might be in that energy. We're gonna see how the reading plays out. We're gonna see what the cards have to say. But as I was tapping into the Sagittarius energy, I started hearing that song. I don't know who it's by. If you've heard it, let me know in the comments, or if you know who it's by. So this makes sense. This makes a lot of sense. Okay, first and foremost, this card is coming up is your first card right out the gate. So this is telling me that this is energy that may have came in from the week before, or this is like old news that might be kind of still around as you're coming into this week. Not necessarily something that's happening this week to make you feel this way. You might be bringing this into the week, or it might have been an ongoing thing. 9 of Swords can be insomnia, having a hard time sleeping because we're stressed out and we're very worried about all the things that might go wrong. There's also an element of 9 of Swords where there's anxiety and there's fear about what people are saying about us. What are people saying about us? How are they seeing us? How are they viewing us? And sorry, I'm hearing 0 F's left to give. Okay, so you're coming into this week like you're tired of feeling this way, right? You're tired of beating yourself up trying to figure it out. You're tired of worrying what people are gonna say or what people are gonna think. You're like, I've got 0 F's to give. I'm over it. I'm tired of that suffering, or I'm tired of that struggling, or I'm tired of like losing sleep over this. Like, it's not worth it. If any of you are still in that energy, because I know people move at different rates. Some of you are like, oh girl, I've been over that, right? Some of you might still be lingering in that. Some of you might still have a little bit of that. I always give advice with the 9 of Swords to just think about, okay, is there anything honestly that you can do in the situation? Like, if you have a fear or a worry about the future, is there something that you can do in the present moment to keep that thing from happening, or to put down a little safety net in case it does happen? Do the things that you can do. The things that you have no control over, this is time to come into prayer, to come into meditation, to have a relationship with God, and to just basically hand it over to God and say, here's the things I'm worried about. Here's what I've done in the situation. I ask that you prevent the things I'm worried about from happening. But if for some reason they have to happen, thank you for helping me get through it quickly. Thank you for guiding me through it. If it's a situation where you're worried what people are saying, thank you for the truth to come out so people will know what are lies, or thank you for helping me to redeem myself or prove myself, or whatever your worry or fear might be. It's time to take this up in prayer and surrender it. Just surrender it and live your life. Okay, live your life. The next card that's coming up, Sagittarius, is the Queen of Wands. I love it. Oh, I just got chills. Okay, so Queen of Wands, obviously traditionally in tarot, is going to be a fire sign person, and this is you. This is you coming into that beautiful, feisty Sagittarius energy. And the reason why I love it is, for me in my readings, the Queen of Wands tends to come up to say that the person I'm reading for has had enough. They have had enough. They know what they bring to the table. They know what they have to offer, and they're not going to put up with it. They're not going to put up with it at all. And so they're taking all that anger and all that frustration, and they're using it productively to bring about change. They're like, you know what? I know my value. There's no reason why I should be settling for less. And they go out to find better, and they find better very quickly because they're aligned with it. They're in that energy. They're in that powerful energy, and the anger is just moving them forward quickly. And so a lot of you are coming into a time of upgrades, upgrading your job, upgrading your environment, upgrading your relationships, like not settling for less. The thing about the Queen of Wands traditionally, also when we look at her characteristics, like the traditional characteristics, the Queen of Wands is I got in trouble before for saying this with the rules on the channel, but Lexi, it rhymes with Lexi, starts with an S. Okay, this kind of energy, obviously, right? That fiery energy. Also, life of the party. She's funny. She's the life of the party. She's funny. She's charismatic. People love to be around her. She's confident. She's independent, has like a strong like entrepreneur kind of energy, very free spirited. So a lot of you are just stepping into that energy. And maybe before, some of you had people that were talking, oh, look at Sagittarius, right? Like spirit is showing me like the old days, like in the Victorian area, and they're like, oh, I never, right? Like scandalous, like people might be looking at you in this way, and you're like, I don't care because I'm not doing anything wrong, and people are going to have their opinions, and I can't live my life for other people's opinions. I need to go where I'm appreciated. I need to go where I'm celebrated. And that's the energy that a lot of you Sagittarius are coming into. Okay, your next card that's coming up here, Sagittarius, is the Star card. So now traditionally this could indicate an Aquarius person because the Star card is associated with the astrological sign of Aquarius. So if you have an Aquarius placement, this could be the area of your life that's coming in full focus right now. Some of you may be dealing with an Aquarius. That is possible. However, if you are new to this channel, I know a lot of people are used to watching tarot readings because they're looking at love and romance, and they're wanting to know what's happening in a relationship between them and somebody else or their crush. That's all fine and dandy. I'm all for it too. However, in the weekly forecasts, I don't focus on love. I want to focus on you. I want this to be about Sagittarius and your journey and the things that you're going through, right? Because we sometimes forget about ourselves. If you want love and romance reading, I do that separate on my channel, and I always have the playlist to the love videos listed, so in the description. So if you want to watch the love videos, those are available for you. But in terms of you, Sagittarius, many of you are stepping into the Star card energy, right? Which we already know traditionally is a happy card, is a positive card, good things happening. However, this is a very, very deep card for several reasons. Number one, it's a major arcana card. When the major arcana cards come up in a reading, you're at a significant crossroads. You're at a defining moment in your life, and you're coming into a new chapter, and you're coming into a new cycle. And it's at these times that our angels and guides are around us the most, helping us through the transition. So whatever you're experiencing is directly linked to something you came here to conquer, something you came here to master. And you can't fail. You can't fail because you came here to do this, to conquer this, to accomplish this, to beat a situation or conquer it once and for all, right? So you can't fail as long as you don't give up. That's the only way you can fail, is if you just kind of give up and say, okay, whatever, I'm done. I'm just gonna give up, right? That's the only way that somebody can fail when we're at these kinds of transitions. Another reason why this is a big deal is the Star card follows the Tower. Okay, the tower, we all know, famously know, is when there's some upset in our life, there's some kind of catastrophe or disaster, something is removed from our life once and for all, or we had this massive awakening and epiphany and we're like, whoa, like we're kind of reeling from it, like we're kind of shook from the things we've realized, or we've been pushed out of our comfort zone and our life is forever changed. Right? And even if it's a good thing, it might feel a little bit bittersweet. But the star card is like directly following the tower. So the star card tells us on the journey, the worst of it is over. Okay, the worst of it is over. The worst of it is behind you. You can expect for things to get better now. Okay, you can make long-term plans that are actually going to stick this time, right? Maybe it just feels like you keep building these little sand castles and the tide gets higher and washes them away, and so you take a few steps back, you build another sand castle, tide comes in again and washes it away, right? This time what you're building, like this time you're building with concrete, you're building with steel beams, you're building with good quality lumber. You're building with insulation and foundation and reinforced structure and all that good stuff. What you're putting together is gonna stick this time. It's gonna be solid, right? Like the three little pigs, the big bad wolf can't blow your house down. Sagittarius, you're over that. You're done with it, right? You're done with this energy coming in, and so you're building your life. You're building your security, and you're having a sense of permanence in your life. Star card is also a lot of the times the path of the wounded healer, right? Like you're a healer, you have spiritual gifts and abilities, but you came into this life to heal your lifetimes of trauma so that you can show others the way out. The star card, it's like you've made it through the darkness and it hasn't snuffed out your light. It's only made you brighter, and now you're this bright light shining through that darkness, showing others the way. So many of you are stepping into your path in terms of healing, teaching, guiding others. And typically, when we hear this, we immediately think of things like, Reiki healer, energy healer, tarot reader, psychic, spiritual healer, life coach, traditional ministry, right? Like some people go and they become a minister, a licensed minister of some kind. And that can be the case for some of you, but I want to remind you, right, that we're not all meant to be tarot readers. We're not all meant to be Reiki healers or shamans. Some of us are and some of us aren't. But healers come in different shapes and forms. Okay, I have a very good friend of mine who's a hairdresser, and but she's a healer. And she's really good at what she does. She's really great with color. She's really good with doing hair. She's amazing. But every time somebody sits in that chair, they have no idea they're getting a healing. They're getting a healing. She's a magic. She's amazing. And so it's the same way. You're going to be healing people in your capacity, whatever it is that you do. Whether you're teaching, I don't care if you're a dentist, if you're a mechanic, I don't care. Whatever it is that you do, janitor, the people that you're coming into contact with, you're bringing about healing. Okay? And I do feel some of you are going to find yourselves getting to the place where you feel like you have a lot to offer. So you might be putting together workshops. You might be putting together some kind of mentorship. You might be blogging or starting a YouTube channel or sharing your story in some way. Maybe you're writing it down and putting it into a book or creating a screenplay or something that you're going to be pitching. But I feel a lot of you are taking your experience and using it to also help others. One more thing about the star card before we move on. I told you the star card has so many layers. It's such a magical card. Another layer of the star card is income coming in from more than one avenue. Okay, income coming in from more than one avenue. So what this means is that there's abundance coming in for you, right? It's ensuring for you a comfortable, stable retirement, and that there's going to be money coming in from more than one stream, right? So maybe you have a job, but then you're going to get really smart about investing, and then you have money coming in from investments, and you might have some hobbies or interests and talents, and you start just doing something for fun, but that begins to bring money in. Okay, it can be in this way. um that's a lot of how I ended up as a tarot reader myself. Before I had the YouTube channel, I just did it because it was fun and I loved doing it. It was my escape from my stressful job. I loved that nights and weekends I got to read for people, and eventually it got to the point where I'm lucky and blessed enough to where this is all I do now. And so some of you are going to have a similar experience down the line. But even those of you who are already self employed, you may be branching out. You may be adding new services. You may be adding new products. You may be creating partnerships with people who are in a like similarly related to what you do, but not exactly the same, right? So branching out, more than one stream of income. The next card that's coming up for you guys, Sagittarius, is the King of Wands, and I love it. Now, I did say I don't like to focus on love and romance in the weekly forecasts, right? But we have to address it when it kind of is suggested or it comes up. So, a lot of you, the more that you're in your authenticity and you're allowing yourself to shine and to be yourself, and to, not worry about that big bad wolf and keep the big bad wolf out, you are going to find the perfect match for yourself. The perfect match for yourself. Okay, so Queen of Wands and King of Wands, not only is it a queen and a king that they're on the same level, they're of the same suit. They're of the same type, right? It's not King of Pentacles and Queen of Wands, although there's nothing wrong with a King of Pentacles and Queen of Wands situation. But this is telling us that this is like the exact match, right? Like the lid for the pot. You use the left shoe and the right shoe. Like it's the perfect match. It's almost like the same. Also though, for me in my readings, in this case, in this instance, another way that this comes in, because some of you are like, well, I already have my match, or I couldn't care less about love, right? So another way that this comes in, or this translates, is you are balancing your feminine and your masculine side. So maybe before you had a lot of ideas, but you were afraid to take action, or you had very high emotions and you got really worked up, and then you kind of went into overkill mode, or you went like a little too extreme. So the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands is telling us there's a balance here. There's emotion, there's creativity, there's drive, ambition, but then there's also the sense of structure and reason and discipline and taking the right actions to take the dream and to make the dream real. Okay, the main thing right now, Sagittarius, that you can do for yourself, I'm emphasizing this again, is disconnecting from the fear of what people are saying or thinking or what might go wrong. Again, I'm not saying to be a Pollyanna and be like, oh, everything's gonna be perfect, la 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 la. I'm safe, I'm protected, the big bad wolf can't get me. Okay, the big bad wolf might be able to get you if you're not taking the right steps. If you aren't fortifying your house, if you aren't putting yourself in that spiritual bubble with God and with angels, right? Some of you might be in a difficult situation where you're living with this toxic energy. Okay, I've been there. I feel you. And sometimes it feels like you can never get out of it. But I can tell you from my own experience, the first step is by energetically disconnecting from it and by having a strong relationship with God, being in prayer, being in meditation. When you find yourself getting discouraged or overwhelmed, or somebody's trying to pull you into an argument or a disagreement, or they're being very critical of you, right? Time for prayer and to put yourself in that bubble of protection. Ask God to put you in that, those layers of bubbles, and just, protect you and only allow love and light in, only allow love and light out. and to keep yourself mentally occupied with things that are cheering you up, that are keeping you positive and optimistic about the future. And eventually, your surroundings are going to catch up to where you've been able to take yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The body will follow, okay? The physical realm will follow. So check out your moon, sun, and rising sign videos. Some weeks that might resonate for you more than your sun sign. It could, in general, just add a little bit more information. That happens a lot of the time too. If you would like a private reading with me, I'm more than happy to give you a private reading. But I'm sure, guys, you might have heard a lot of other YouTubers, especially tarot readers and psychics, say this. It's been brought to my attention that now I'm in it too. Somebody is out there impersonating me and emailing people and offering them a reading. So I just want you guys to know that's never going to happen. I wish I could do that and just kind of reach out to people like, hey, come get a reading with me. And I don't have the time to do that. I don't have an email list. I know a lot of people will have that. Like they'll have like a mass email list and they'll email their subscribers or the people that have booked with them. I don't have anything like that. I don't send out mass emails. I don't email people offers. If I do one day, if I'm able to set that up, I will make it very clear how to know if it's coming from me. But this is not coming from me. So the only way to get a private reading from me is by going to calendly.com/amethystangel and you can schedule a private reading with me there. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Bye, Sagittarius. Be well, my dears.